Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, hi there, my name is Tammy. If you're not new, welcome back. Thank you so much for always coming back. I appreciate you all. So today's video, we're going to be doing a Valentine's Day makeup look, but using all drugstore products. Before I even start that, if you're new here, please like this video. And for those that are not new, you already know, please like the video, comment down below, subscribe if you're yet to subscribe. And also, yeah, that's all those things. Just do the needful, please. It really helps my channel. All right, going back to what I was trying to say. So everything that I'll be using today is going to be drugstore. You're going to find it either on Amazon, at Target, or Walmart, and even at Ulta, because Ulta tends to carry a lot of drugstore products in the stores as well. So don't fret if you've been looking for some really good products that are affordable and do just as well as luxury products, then you need to watch this whole video, starting from the brows all the way to the setting spray. So let's go. Starting with my brows. You guys know I use NYX. That's also drugstore, but I did pick up a new product from Maybelline. It's not brand new like on the market, but like it's been on the market. I just picked it up because it's new to me, but it is really good and I wanted to introduce it and share it with y'all. And this is the Maybelline Build a Brow 2-in-1 Brow Pen Sealing Gel. So the only tip that I would give with this is all the products that I'm going to be sharing, I've tried them all. I think every single one of them. Yeah, I've tried it to see, if it's worth me sharing and letting you all know. That way you don't just go buy something that is not worth it or whatnot. Anyway, so the Build a Brow is really good. The gel part is also good, but the tip is you need to coat your brows. Make sure your brows are clean, no oils. So I have my wipe here. I'm going to wipe my brows because I did do my skincare since like, I want to say 7 a.m. maybe earlier than that. And it's been sitting on my skin. My skincare has been settled all the way into my skin since then, which is good, but you still want to make sure that the oils on your brows are gone and not like gonna mess up your makeup or whatever, or your brow product, the brow product, because it tends to do that if it's not well wiped and cleaned dry. So the tip here, like I keep saying, I'm sorry, is that you need to leave it in for up to maybe a minute for it to really set and dry before applying. The instruction does say to, let's see here, application, shake the pen before application, use the brow pen to draw light upward hair-like strokes to fill in the sparse area of the brow, and then allow 15 seconds to dry. Yeah. So I've tried this, like I said. The best way that I think would work instead of that is you wipe your brows first, make sure it's clean, shake it as they said. However, you're not using the pen first, you're using the gel first. Let me get my mirror. I need to get a little closer. But you use the gel first and let it dry. But I would suggest either use a fan, blow it so it can dry down before you start putting the strokes of hair. So in this case, what I'm going to move closer to y'all so you can really see what I'm trying to say here. You're going to first brush opposite because you want to coat the bottom part of the hair. This is what's going to help it to stay and last a little longer than if you just brushed it up. Do you understand? So you want to make sure you coat the bottom part by first going this way, then you dip it again, make sure you get enough product on the brush, and then you brush it upwards in the direction you want your brow to sit. That way there's something adhering to both sides of your brow hair. You're not getting too much, because I like the way this brow spoolie, the gel spoolie, how it's shaped. It's sort of in a triangular format, so you're not taking too much product out when you pull it out of the gel chamber. Once you do that, you're pretty much just brushing it up so that you kind of shape how you want your brow. The other thing that I like to do is once I coat it well like that, these are Real Techniques product here. I'm going to link everything, all Real Techniques product. This is a set. It's a set of 3 actually. Comes with a spoolie here and then like a brush on the side or whatever, like this, like a slanted brush. So this set right here, if I find it, I'm gonna link it. It's excellent for brow hairs. I love using this. So I would just grab either one, but I usually like to grab this one and the one with the spatula. So what I do now is after I apply the brow gel, I then just simply brush it down one time, just to kind of keep it in place. It's already drying, which is excellent. Then I go with the spatula and also lay it down. Pretty much just one time is all you need. You don't need more than that. Well, I did more than that, but so now it's just gonna lay like that. All right, so once it's dried down, I can simply run my hands through it and I know that my brow hairs are laid. Then I go in and fill in. Look at how thin the tip is. So you could make really tiny strokes like that. I wasn't paying attention, but in your brows. So that's what I'm gonna do now on this brow here. And just lay it down. And the shade for this brow pen is in the shade black brown. So I like this because it's not too dark. It's not like totally black, and it blends well with my brow hair, like the sparse area, like areas that are a little bit bald, and just fill it in. And right now I'm like really moving fast, but this is kind of how it would look. I like it. It's really good, decent looking, as opposed to I haven't done anything to this. So let me finish my brows on the other side, and then I'll come back to the concealer that you could use, that you could pick up at the drugstore. All right, so I've done one brows, which is clean up one brows, and I want to show you how I'm going to clean up the other brow, but also wanted to share with you some concealers that are affordable that you could use to clean up your brows. So the one I used, it's always e.l.f., which is the Health Hydrating Camo Concealer, because I have dry skin. So I like to use the e.l.f. Camo Concealer. The shade that I use, if we are shade twins, is Rich Walnut. That's what I use to clean it out. But you can also try out the Revlon Color Stay Flex Wear. This is also in my shade. I like this one as well. This is a full coverage concealer. I usually use this under my eye because of the full coverage that it gives. There's also NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop Concealer. This is for brightening that I use this for. And there's also a Sephora Best Skin Ever. I don't know if they still make the thick fat ones, but I did pick up both the Sephora Best Skin Ever as well as the Sephora Bright Future Gel Concealers, which are affordable as well, and they are really good. So I just wanted to share those options in case you're not like interested in using e.l.f. There's also Maybelline. You could use Maybelline concealer, but the ones that I've tried that I love, that I continue using and grabbing, are the ones that I just mentioned. So I'm just going to clean this up using the same tool that I had earlier from Real Techniques. This one is the angled brow, cleaning up the brow, just like that. And you can see the reason why a lot of makeup YouTubers don't show how they do their brows is because it's like very detailed work. You have to concentrate. You have to like make sure you don't mess up, because you try not to mess up by ruining the work you've already done. So that's pretty much what my brows are looking like. Moving on from that, I always do my eyes before my complexion. You can always use a Juvia's Place eyeshadow base primer. That's what I'm trying to think of. But the eyeshadow primer that you can also use, there was an eyeshadow primer that I got from Maybelline. I can't find it right now, but I do still have my NYX eyeshadow base. So I don't know if they still make this anymore, but I'm sure they make something similar. e.l.f. also has like eyeshadow base primer, I believe. I think they do. If they don't, sorry. But you can also get the Juvia's Place eyeshadow base primer. Some people use concealers as their eyeshadow base or eyeshadow primer. But the thing about that is, if you have dry skin, you don't want to use a matte concealer when you have dry skin. It's just going to be super drying and very uncomfortable for you. So it depends on the type of concealer that you're using. So you want to go with like a hydrating concealer to kind of balance it off. Now, if you have oily eyelids, then you don't want to use an hydrating concealer. So just be careful the type of concealer you use before applying your eyeshadow. And also you can set it with like a translucent powder. For eyeshadow base, I usually don't set it. I just sort of let it dry itself out and then apply my eyeshadow. But those are the tips and tricks that you could do when you use just concealer. You know, just kind of think of it like, if you have dry skin, use hydrating stuff, reduce the amount of powders you're using. If you have oily skin, use powdery and matte product, but not too much of it either, because you don't want to suffocate your pores as well to the point that it over produces oil. So it's just about the science of it all, and not using too much product also will help. Moving on, I'm going to be applying this eyeshadow base to my lids. I already did this eyes. I had a bit of an interruption there. I created this look using 3 eyeshadow palettes, but they're all affordable. I did this eyes because I got a call and I didn't want to waste any more time. But I'm going to show you the products that I used. So I used this Ace Beauty Scarlet Dusk eyeshadow, and I used the shades Sunset as my transition shade. Yeah, this one is called Sunset Rose, and this shade here, Nocturnal. So, and then I also went in and used for the shadow, I got the e.l.f. Fine as Flick Glitter Eyeshadow. It's a sheer glitter eyeshadow topper, and this is in the shade Straight Fire. And that's what I applied on my lid here. Plus, I did just a little bit of extra shimmer on top. This is from the Wet n Wild palette here, and this is the Lights Off palette. It's a nice vibrant shade here. So this shimmer shade right here, I applied a little bit on my lid. So that's how I created this look. All right, so the transition shade is done. Now I'm gonna go into Nocturnal, put that at the corner here. So it gives it like a bit more of a smoky look. Everything's about blending, but also not applying too much so that you don't get a muddy look. Just building it up slowly. I'm using another brush, and this is a Jessup brush, and it's MUL16. So I'm going in with the e.l.f. Shimmer Shadow, and I'm also going to apply the glitter primer, just a little bit this time around. Now I'm going to go into the Wet n Wild, that shimmer one as well, which is kind of like a champagne gold, and I just rub a little bit on to the same brush and just sort of lightly apply it on my lid. That's it. I'm gonna go to the next stage, which is complexion. All right, so next is the base. Come back to the eyes later, but before we apply the foundations, I have options of primers that you can use. You can get different types of primers. If you have dry skin, I've simply gathered hydrating primers that I like, that I use. And first is this one here, which is the Holy Hydration Thirst Drop by e.l.f. This is really, really good. I like it. This has 5% niacinamide in it. There is also the Maybelline's Grippy Serum Makeup Gripper up to 24 hours. And this has 2% niacinamide in it. And then I also have the Maybelline Poreless Jelly Hydrating Blurring Primer, which also has 2% niacinamide in it. I've tried this. It works pretty much just as good as all these other primers that I'm talking about. There's also the e.l.f. Poreless Primer that you could use. There's a liquid one. There's a putty one. So many different types of primer. There's the Power Grip. Well, I only pulled out this one, but you have this one that also has 4% niacinamide. I like this two combination. You don't want to apply your foundation immediately after you apply your primer. But while doing that, if you have dry skin, and at this stage, you can spray your face to build up on that hydration. There's also the Milani Make It Last Setting Spray. This is also good for priming and also setting your face. And then there's the Black Radiance Dewy Setting Spray. I like this a lot as well. This really does keep my skin hydrated all day. And then there's also the Stay All Day Blue Light Micro Setting Spray Mist. It's like a lightweight makeup setting spray. I like this a lot. So you don't want something heavy or super matte if you have dry skin. So now that I've talked you guys' ears off and let that set in, we're going to move to, I'm going to spray myself. I'm trying to see which setting spray I want to use. I'm going to use the Urban Decay Watermelon Setting Spray. Okay, and I'm going to let that set in. Let it dry down. I think the only thing I don't like about this small setting spray, which I'm glad I haven't applied my foundation yet, is it doesn't have a fine mist, which is fine. I just know that when I am spraying it on, I have to shake it more and then like spray it away to get that fine mist application. All right, so now it's time to apply the foundation. And I have a couple of foundation suggestions for you. You could do the e.l.f. Soft Glam Satin Foundation, which has medium buildable coverage, has 1% hydrating hibiscus complex. This is great for dry skin as well as oily skin too. That's the Maybelline Super Stay 30-Hour Wear Lumi Matte Foundation, and this is in the shade 370. I didn't give you guys my shade in this one because I mix it with 62 and 64 to get like my right shade, but this formula is really, really good. I do not get any oiliness even after wearing this all day. It just literally looks satin all day. All right, the next one that I will suggest is another Maybelline. I haven't done a video on this yet, but I will be doing a video on this. This is the Maybelline Super Stay 24-Hour Skin Tint. This is a skin tint that has vitamin C in it. It actually has like a very good coverage, medium to full coverage, honestly. When I tried this, I was shocked at how well it covered my blemishes and dark spots. So this is excellent if you're looking for like a lightweight foundation. And then the other two that I will definitely also recommend are the L'Oreal infallible up to 24-hour fresh wear foundation that has SPF in it. This is good. This is in the shade 530. Now, the one that I'm going to be using today in this video, this is actually my first time using this, but I've heard some really good things about it. It's the Maybelline True Match Super Blendable Foundation, and the shade that I picked out, I'm blind using this, I'm blind bought this, is N10. I feel like I did a good job picking this out because I put it next to my Maybelline 30 Hour Wear, and it looks very, very close to the same shade. What do you guys think? I think I did a good job picking out the right shade. So let's go into it because this is my first time using this. And I don't know if it says we're supposed to shake this before using, but always shake your product before using it regardless, because you don't know how long it's been sitting there and just sitting there. So you could use a brush. As a beginner, you most likely want to use a sponge, but wet your sponge and squeeze it out. Then use a towel to squeeze it out again so that it can be as lightly damp as possible. But I'm not going to be using a sponge in this video because I like using brushes. I use sponges too. This is a Real Techniques sponge. Our e.l.f. also has a sponge. You could get one of those. They have really good sponges, but I'm going to link the Real Techniques and the e.l.f. sponges in the shopping list as well. So the brush that I'm actually using, which you could use either one, I have the Jessup foundation brush, which is this one, and it's in the MUL02. Or you could use the NYX Professional Makeup Brush. This is like maybe 15 bucks. I've had 2 of these and I love this brush. This is really, really good. So I'm going to be using the NYX one, and you could put it on the back of your hand to warm it up. I usually just use this plate thingy. It's makeup plate, I guess. And I'll just make like 2 pumps. And then what you also want to do is you could use a brush or your finger to apply. For the purpose of this video and for the fact that I have a lot of brushes sitting around, I don't mind. I'm just going to use a nice flat brush to just tap, tap, tap all over my face. I didn't even check if it's my shade, but I'm just so confident that it's my shade. Anyways, yeah, so I think it is my shade. I mean, you can see that it's my shade. This is how much I have left. Now, what you now do is just take the brush and then just use it to pick up whatever there's left, like that. And there's nothing left there. And then you just start stamping it in. You see, I'm not dragging it. It's like I'm just punching my face with the brush, but I'm not technically hurting myself. It gives better coverage. It pushes it into place. So if you don't know how to use a brush, that's pretty much what you should do. Just dot it all over and just push it into your skin. That's it. Very easy to apply, and you get always a flawless result. Got excellent coverage. I don't need to add any more. I've used everything that I pumped out, which is simply 2 pumps to get such a good coverage. And I have problem skin, so okay, let's let that sit and set in, and then we'll do the concealers. All right, so now we're going to apply the concealers, and the concealers that I think I've said before, I'm not sure. You can use e.l.f., you could use NYX, you could use Sephora. So for this particular video, I've pulled out just my e.l.f. Hydrating Camel Concealer, Satin Finish, and Sephora Bright Future Gel Serum in the shade Ganache number 18, and in the shade Rich Walnut for the e.l.f. one. And you can let that sit. While you're letting that sit, I'm going to talk to you about the brushes you could use. I have a video on this. I'm not sure if it's out yet, but if it isn't, there's a video coming out on this brush that I got. This is the Real Techniques 264 brush that is spectacular for concealer. So 1 tiny one and 1 large one. And I like to use the larger one for my under eye to stamp it in place. You could also use, like I said before, your beauty sponge, and you want to start outside in. You want to leave this to stay as long as possible under your eye. All right, so for like bronzing and contouring, you can either do contour or bronze. I'm gonna just bronze because I'm used to doing that now. You don't have to contour because you kind of have to be precise. But if you want a bronze-ish, like with contour, I would say you can try out the Black Radiance Contour Palette, which I use for bronzing at the same time. Or you could also use the Juvia's Place Bronzed in Deep Dark. So I'm gonna go into the Juvia's Place Bronze palette here. There's a cool one and there's a warmer one. I'm just gonna mix both of them together and just sort of bronze tour, I guess, if you want to call it that. I'm setting my under eye and I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder in the shade 30. And that's what I'm using right now. I already did one side of my eye and I'm going to do the other side. Put it on the back of your hand like that. And then start from the outside and work your way in because you don't want too much powder under your eye. And you're just pushing it in. That's all. Nothing else. Don't drag. Just push it into your skin. So for blushes, you can get blush from e.l.f., from NYX, from L'Oreal, Maybelline. So today I'm using a L'Oreal and I think I'm going to mix a little bit of NYX. So I have the NYX blush. This is my first time carrying this here. This is the NYX Buttermilk blush in the shade You Know Butter. And this is a shimmering coral shade. And then I also got the L'Oreal Infallible 24-hour fresh wear blush. And this is a soft matte finish. And this is in the shade Fearless Coral. I love coral shade. This has a bit of shimmer to it. So I'm going to use this on top of the L'Oreal Fresh Wear Coral shade. Using a blush brush, which is an angled blush brush from e.l.f. Look at that. That's very pigmented. It gives a nice good color payoff as you can see here. I didn't know Maybelline, L'Oreal has such good product. All right, so I'm going to go into the next one. I don't want to be too heavy-handed, so I'm just going to lightly, yeah, I already can tell it's very much shimmer. I'm going to go in with my foundation brush and just sort of go around those lines of demarcation, I guess, to do a little bit more blending. There's no product on it. I'm just blending everything together. This is before applying your face powder. You're not losing anything. You're simply merging it all. Now I'm going to go in with, you could either use another loose finishing powder like this one from Maybelline, which is the number 41, or you could use a foundation powder like either this one from e.l.f., which is the Camo Powder Foundation. This is in the shade Deep 540N, or you could also use the Maybelline 540. So I'm going to go with the e.l.f. because this is closest to my skin tone as well. Oh, I picked up this Real Techniques face powder. It's an extra big powder brush. I've already washed it. I just put it back in the packaging just so I could show you all. I know if that's weird, ignore me, just whatever. But yeah, I'm gonna show you the other shade brush that you could also use. This one is much bigger. This is the numbers 262 brush, and then this is number 400 brush. So this is smaller. You could use this for all over face. You could also use it for blush, but I like this because it's thicker and it's going to cover more areas as opposed to this one. But I use both of them interchangeably. Just tap into it. I'm not done with my eyes, by the way. I'm still gonna go back to the eyes. So for my under eye, I got okay, so this is the Essence Stay and Play Gel Liner. This is in the shade But First Espresso. And I'm not putting it in my waterline. I'm just literally lining where my lash hair is at. I'm gonna go back into the Scarlet Dusk palette and apply just a little bit of the Nocturnal onto a tiny small flat brush, also from Jessup. Lightly though, you don't want to hurt your eye, and if you have a sensitive eye, you don't have to do this, you could skip it. And then what I'm also gonna do is pop a color of crimson, which is this color right here. I'm gonna put that in my inner corner there. See? All right, so moving on to lashes, and I'm gonna be using this lash cluster. Before that though, I'm going to apply my mascara. You always want to apply your mascara before you apply. And this is the one I'm trying today, which you could pick up at Target. This is the L'Oreal Paradise Big Deal Buildable Volume and Length Mascara. And this is in the shade number 776 in black. If you don't want to get this, you could also get the Lash Extender e.l.f. Lengthening and Definition. There's also Essence Lash Princess. This is really, really good. I also use a primer. This is a L'Oreal Voluminous Base Primer. So we're gonna wait for this to dry down very well before we apply the lash cluster. For my lips, I pulled out what I'm gonna use. This is Molasses number 17, the Sephora lip liner. And I didn't think it'll work for me, but it does. I'm gonna show you. However, if it doesn't work for you, you can go to the Juvia's Place online and you could buy either cola or cocoa latte. Those are darker. And then I'm gonna use two Juvia's Place and a Revlon. So lip balm that I got from Revlon is the Nude Illuminator. I just received this recently. I love this shade. It's very neutral. It doesn't really show up, but because it's so moisturizing, I'm gonna use both Juvia's Place lip glosses in Chocomillo and Chocolate Drip. These shades are like my go-to whenever I want to do like a pinky nude color. And it glides on so nicely. Look at that, so pretty. Okay, so now we're gonna go in Revlon Super Lustrous Glass Shine Lip Balm. It doesn't really give a lot of color, but I just like this formula. It really keep my lips moisturized. Now that I have that on, I'm gonna use my liner first as well. I'm gonna use the Chocolate Drip Lip Gloss over my lip liner. Then I'm gonna go in with my Choco Mellow Lip Gloss in the middle. And that's the lip. It's the perfect lip nude lip that I like for me and for my skin tone. I love it. Finally, you could use a setting spray here. However, if you have oily skin, use a setting spray. If you want to use a matte setting spray, use a matte setting spray. All right, so that is pretty much all the products that I used to create this beautiful, stunning, I guess, Valentine's Day look. Anyways, this look came out excellent despite I tried a couple of brand new products, new to me products, and they work out very well. I think I did a good job selecting new products that I have never used before. So this is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope there are some tips that was helpful for you, and let me know if you are going to give this look a try or if you're going to try any of the products that I mentioned in this video. Remember that I'm going to list everything in the shopping list that you will see on the screen. That way you can go right ahead and purchase whatever product that you think might work for you. Also, please give this video a thumbs up by liking it. And also, I really appreciate you watching all the way to the end of this video. Please subscribe to this channel if you're yet to subscribe. We're trying to hit 15K. Thank you so much for 11K, I think. I think I just hit 11K. I'm really shocked. So thank you so much for that. We're trying to hit 15K and hopefully we can make it there sooner or later. Thank you so much again, and I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye!